Yep.
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 Mm-hmm.
God damn you.
What's up, YouTuberverse? It's your boy RB back again for another one. Today we're going to talk about the brotherly shove and this Dwight Howard controversy.
Dwight, what are you doing?
So let's get right into it. Nuance Machine episode 64. Let's kick it. Alright, before we get started, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, check out my shop, breezysprints.com, where you can find all original designs printed on high-quality tees, tank tops, sweatshirts, and hoodies. All designs are done by yours truly, and without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so we're going to get right into this brotherly shove here. So last week, the Eagles played the Dolphins, and much better game this time around than the week before. We were pretty much dominant in most phases of the game. There was one moment down in the red zone, first drive of the game, 3rd and goal on the 9-yard line, where we called a quarterback draw? And the fans, of course, booed in this moment.
Waiting for it. They're going to take him at the 6-yard line.
Because we know the chances of converting 3rd and 9 are already small, but running a quarterback draw in that situation makes the chances even smaller. After that, the Eagles offense got itself together, and we were able to score touchdowns instead of settling for field goals, and the brotherly shove was just dominant once again. 92% of the time, it works all the time.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
If it's an unfair advantage, I think you would see the rest of the league doing it at 92%. But as we saw in week 1, 4 other teams missed quarterback sneaks. The Colts being one of them. Jordan Love forgot the snap count and fell into his right guard. We'll see. I don't know.
And I haven't talked about this play yet, and I'm going to try and be objective as possible here. First off, I love the excuse that it's not a football play, it's a rugby play. And when people say that, it kind of just tells me they've never really seen a rugby scrum before.
Because everybody keeps hiring rugby players to try and figure out how to stop this, which it's not at all like a rugby. Like rugby scrum, you're like locked in and you're like there. And to me, it's not at all the same thing.
Like, you see how these guys have their arms locked? And it's like a reverse tug of war almost. Like, they're just pushing on each other. What the Eagles are doing is just a quarterback sneak, and then A.J. Brown comes in and shoves at the end. And I'm wondering, like, what do you mean by outlawing this play? Do you mean, like, outlawing the quarterback sneak? Because that play has existed forever. If you're looking to say, like, oh, you just can't come in from behind and shove the quarterback, then, I guess that would make sense. Honestly, I think either way, the Eagles are still going to convert it at least 85% of the time, even if A.J. Brown's not allowed to come in and push from behind.
I don't care if they outlaw the push, because quite frankly, we've been running this play at a high percentage before we ever started doing that.
Look, I listened to Jason Kelce talk about this on the New Heights podcast, and what he called it was organized mass.
One of the beautiful things about quarterback sneak is whoever can organize the most efficiently in that small period of time in that tight window is going to be successful on it. We had a Scottish guy come in, but this Scottish guy came in and he's talking to Jeff Stoutland, and Stout was like, what would you do to try and stop this? Like, how would you stop this play? And the guy says, Coach! He says, well, let me see if I can do my best Scottish impression. He says, Coach, there ain't nothing you can do to stop it. It's organized mass. It's organized mass, and there's nothing they can do as long as you're organized. There's too much people going in the same direction at the same time.
The Eagles really have this broken down to a science, like for real. So the Eagles have Jason Kelce, who is undersized, but extremely strong for his size, at the center, getting down in a 4-point stance. Okay, timeout.
An offsides penalty was incorrectly called again on Landon and the brotherly shove. It's you every single time, dude.
I know I'm destroying Landon's rating right now because he's getting unnecessary penalties on him. Listen, I don't know what to do. I need to get in a 4-point stance for the play so I can get as low as possible.
What's more badass than the center being in a 4-point stance like a nose tackle? I'm not even sure I really understand how he snaps the ball without immediately falling over.
This play is Jason Kelce. is what this play is. It's like, all right, everybody get behind Jason
I
and go.
heavily disagree with that.
How many sneaks would the Eagles have to run to get Jason Kelce at least considered for MVP? It is the most unstoppable play in the NFL.
And then the Eagles moved 6'6", 325-pound Lane Johnson and 6'8", 365-pound Jordan Mailata from the tackles to the guard positions. And then the cherry on top is Jalen Hurts himself, squats 600 pounds. The push from behind is really just kind of like the whipped cream in this Sunday metaphor. Look, if you want to legislate the push from behind out of the game, I get it. But you just can't ban the quarterback sneak. That's crazy. So, look, you remember back in the 90s and early 2000s, like having a dominant nose tackle to stop the run was an important thing to have. And these dudes used to be over 320, 330 pounds, easy. Their job was literally to just be an immovable object and clog the A-gap. What's the A-gap? Well, that's the gap on either side of the center. Where a quarterback sneaks run? In the A-gap. Now, in today's NFL, we have tackles that are a little bit lighter in order to rush the quarterback. So the league became pass heavy, and that caused defenses to change from focusing on stopping the run to focusing on stopping the pass. And like, look at your most dominant defensive tackles today. You got Aaron Donald and Chris Jones. Aaron Donald, 6'1", 284 pounds. Chris Jones, 6'6", 310 pounds. So guys in this position are still they're still big guys, but they're just a little slimmer than they used to be and a little bit quicker than they used to be. But that doesn't really bode well for stopping the quarterback sneak, or the push, or the brotherly shove, or whatever we want to call it. If this play was being run in the 80s, nobody would be complaining because teams would have the personnel to be able to stop it. So I think if any of these teams are complaining about it, they need to just get their weight up and quit your whining.
See, the push sneak haters have also made a comeback.
Shocker.
Sports writer Peter King.
Peter's hating?
Shout out to Peter King. Doubled down on his claim that the push sneak is an abomination.
Abomination?
That's what he said.
That's a strong word.
Quotes, I am on record last year many times loudly saying it's an abomination. It's an idiotic rule, and the NFL has made, in my opinion, a terrible mistake in not legislating a rugby play out of the NFL.
Stop us from getting to 4th and 1. Also, the Eagles just traded for Kevin Baird, who is a 2-time Pro Bowl and All-Pro safety, which fills the hole that was pretty much the only glaring weakness on this Eagles team. So, yay. All right, we're going to shift gears here and talk about a basketball story. This one's pretty crazy. Have y'all ever wondered why Dwight Howard is playing out in China and can't get a contract in the NBA? Dwight Howard was one of the most dominant defensive forces in the game. He won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. And sure, he's not that guy anymore, but he can still play, obviously. Look at what he's doing out in China. So what happened? Well, we may finally have some clarity on that situation. This is a crazy story, so prepare yourselves. And I mean, by crazy, I mean like Will and Jada level crazy. Like Jerry Springer level crazy. So this comes from a USA Today article that says, quote, according to ESPN, a man named Stephen Harper filed a civil complaint in July 2021 in which he alleges that he and Howard began corresponding in May of 2021 over direct messages on Instagram. The messages were explicit in nature, including photographs and videos. This led to an encounter in July of that year in which the man claims that Howard assaulted him. ESPN obtained court documents in which Howard said consensual activity took place with Harper at Howard's Georgia home in July 2021. Also, according to the claim, Howard denied causing any harm to the man, end quote. This comes from another article. It says, Howard admits that he invited Harper over into his home, and they proceeded to consensually get naked and kiss.
You want some of me?
But then, according to Harper, Howard then allegedly surprised Harper by introducing a third person who is a transvestite named Kitty. Y'all, Dwight Howard's life is just like a constant episode of Jerry Springer. Remember, Howard also has a history of impregnating strippers. I mean, I'm not judging, just stating facts. He has 5 children by 5 different baby mamas. Anyway, I digress. Harper then said that he felt uncomfortable in the situation, but was forced by Howard and Kitty to participate even after expressing how uncomfortable he was. Howard responds and says that this is just a money grab. He says that Harper is blackmailing him and that he threatened to publicly embarrass Howard if he didn't pay him an undisclosed amount of money. So, Dwight Howard was accused of assaulting a man by doing salacious and fallacious things against this man's will back in 2021. We don't know if the NBA knew about these allegations back then, but the timing of his exit from the NBA is, dare I say, suspect, to say the least. Also keep in mind, Dwight Howard does not deny the encounter. He says that this encounter was consensual, so we can assume that this actually happened. The only part that's in question is the assault part.
I heard you was gay. What's going on with that?
Y'all remember just last year when Dwight Howard was trolling NBA players, telling them to come on, join him in China. Come join him in China.
Jordan Poole. Come on. Julius Randle. Come on. Let me stop. Ben Simmons. Come on, man.
Yeah, that shit looks really clownish right now. Look, I obviously don't care about anyone's sexual orientation, color, race, religion, social status, any of that crap.
Gay, man. You just gay.
And I think that most people in 2023 don't care about that stuff. So if Dwight was gay or bi, he could have just came out of the closet and looked like a hero. I mean, he could have been like a great feel-good LGBTQ story. Like, he could have secured all kinds of endorsement deals and gotten all kinds of positive attention. But no, he allowed someone else to out him in the most negative way you possibly can. Now, I have gay friends, and I know y'all think that this is a precursor for me to say some homophobic shit, and no, I'm not about to do that. But anyway, I have gay friends. I've worked with LGBTQ plus people, and not once has anyone made me feel uncomfortable. But Dwight has a history of doing things like this. So when it becomes a rumor that Dwight Howard assaulted another man, the NBA knows this is going to make damn near every other man in the NBA uncomfortable. And rightfully so. So if the NBA knew about this lawsuit, it makes it an easy choice on whether to give Dwight Howard an NBA contract or not. You just can't. Like, look, I'm not here to judge people. I hope Dwight gets this figured out, and hopefully the assault part of this story isn't true. Dwight is seeking to have this civil suit dismissed. Like I said, he claims it's just a money grab. So we'll see what happens to this story from here. One last thing about this, and this is totally just the petty in me. And I'm usually not a petty person, but my ex-girlfriend from like years ago, I mean like 15 years ago, used to have a major crush on Dwight Howard. And he was one of her celebrity crushes. And for a while there, I did not like Dwight Howard because of that. I let go of that hatred for Dwight a long time ago because I realized just how unhealthy it was to attach my disdain towards my ex to Dwight. But just to be completely honest with y'all, I'd honestly be interested to hear how she feels about this story. I mean, how would y'all feel if you found out your celebrity crush not only batted for the other team, but was accused of assaulting someone salaciously and fallaciously? Talk about a turnoff, man. Anyway, that's going to be all for this one, guys. I will see you on the next one.
Can't wait.
Love you guys. Peace.
Dark side, light this bitch up.